We're taking you to the Venice Biennale, one of the world's most important international art exhibits. We're visiting the exhibit that was held in the year 2003 in this episode. That year was the 50th edition of the Venice Biennale, marking its 100th year. It's one of the oldest ongoing art shows in the world. Happens every other year. More than 65 countries and hundreds of artists participate in this exhibit, which happens every other year. The Blind Pavilion for the Danish employs a variety of strategies like mirror reflections, glass kaleidoscopes, stretches of stairway, and architectural interventions. The exhibition takes shape as a total installation which on several levels will cancel out the dividing lines between work and viewer, between outside and inside, between art and science. Russia has a major permanent building here on the mall for their exhibits, and in recent years they've been very innovative and creative and clever, but in 2003 it was just an assemblage of contemporary painting up on the wall with big empty space in the middle. Theme of the Nordic exhibit was Devil May Care, presented by three women. A quick look here. Theme of the Japan exhibit was Heterotopias, or Other Spaces, a theme and a word that can be interpreted in a number of different ways, according to the commissioner Yuko Hasegawa, who said, when we refer to a place that is not here, but other place, this could be many things. A place that is out of the ordinary, the peripheral, or the displaced, in contrast to utopia, with its symbolic meaning of an ideal place which exists nowhere. Heterotopia signifies an actual place somewhere, whether it be real or not. The artist representing Great Britain was Turner Prize winner Chris O'Feely. He created a series of 5 brightly colored paintings, especially for the show, and they're installed in very colorful rooms. O'Feely's paintings are often built up in layers of paint, resin, glitter, dung, and other materials to create a collage-like effect. The French pavilion was designed and constructed by the Biennale back in 1912. Now it's got some wild contemporary paintings. The Czechs and Slovaks no longer share a country, but they still share the pavilion at the Biennale. Showcasing here a crucified gymnast. Australia was represented by Melbourne artist Patricia Piccinini, who presented a genetically engineered family made of silicone, leather, acrylic, and human hair. This pig mother sold for $160,000 before the show opened. Uruguay, presenting some freestanding stone sculptures. While exploring the Biennale, you've got to go across this little canal to the back portion of the Giardini, and there you'll find another half dozen major pavilions. The Greece Pavilion offers a complex arrangement of audiovisual confessions and descriptions of dreams which have been collected from individuals over a diverse ethnic and linguistic range, all projected onto a large structure. And now we'll show you a variety of different pavilions in this back area. Some sculptural machine-looking devices indoors as well as outdoors in the garden. These structures are curious because they look like actually functioning machines, but of course they're not. It's all a facade. And then there's a fun gallery with copies of famous works of art. It's like having an entire modern art museum in one room. You've got copies of Jackson Pollock, of Picasso, of Gustav Klimt. There's Matisse the Dance, Duchamp. You've got highlights of 20th century art, including a touch of surrealism. The artist representing the United States was Fred Wilson, and in his statement he said, "My work is essentially about where I am And here I was, this African American doing a project in the American Pavilion. The part that was the most abstract was this geometric room that I created a black and white tile, thinking about issues of black and white. The room vibrated if you stood there and visually offset you a little bit because of that. I was also interested in institutional spaces, Fred Wilson said, where you can be alone but where you're not alone. Iceland has an ecological theme about endangered waters. There's a brushed steel cabinet with pull-out screens like a print storage cabinet, but on each of these screens there's a photograph of a waterfall. It's a very active viewer participation kind of exhibit. Hungary was displaying a headless bronze statue, supposedly of Nefertiti. And now into the main pavilion or palazzo, hosting a variety of different artists. There's a remarkable and somewhat bizarre pill cabinet in glass and stainless steel that was built by Damien Hirst, one of England's most famous artists. It's an update on his pharmacy that's been on exhibit at the Tate Britain. It's about 9 meters long with narrow shelves holding handmade replicas of pills of every type, color, shape, and size. You might recognize some of your own medication in this very accurate display. The aluminum foil walls of this gallery were absolutely filled with little notes and stickers and memos and photographs and different items that were actually put there by viewers of the exhibit. The artist encouraged participation to help create this amazing assemblage. There's some graffiti, there's personal notes, there's call me messages, there's family photographs, and it seems like some of these items are just up here temporarily because they're hanging in a very flimsy manner. Like most exhibits here, a little bizarre and a lot of fun. This kind of call for participation by the viewer really turns things around. It's a different kind of art experience. You're no longer the passive viewer, but you're the active participant. Or if you're just taking a look, you're somewhere in between. Dictatorship of the viewer was an overall theme of this Biennale. Well, this hanging shape is obviously some kind of egg, most unusual one with this collage plastered all over it, and a motorcycle with a sidecar that's covered by pizza box stickers. This light tunnel was rather amazing. You immerse yourself inside the work of art. That's quite unusual. Instead of looking at a flat painting on the wall or looking at a sculpture in the round or watching a video screen of some kind, now here you're invited in. You're almost hypnotized and allured to come in, guided by these throbbing, pulsating, stroboscopic light bulbs. Something like being inside a circus funhouse. Over 400 artists from nearly 70 different countries participated in the 2003 Biennale, and you can see the diversity of expressions and talents and themes and approaches on display here. Works in every imaginable medium are available for your entertainment, stimulation, and delight. Numerous video installations are always a hit with the audience, especially when you have a chance to sit down and watch them. Take a break while you're at it. Another good place for a break is the various snack bars you find throughout the grounds of the Biennale. Of course, this is not great Italian food. You won't find that, but it's a quick bite, refreshing, or drink. Entering the Pavilion of Holland, or the Netherlands, we are the world. Artists from different cultural backgrounds who live in the Netherlands were selected under the title, We Are the World. The show is meant to be about cultural balance within the multicultural society. Adjacent to the Dutch Pavilion, you've got this fun little movie tent. This is a great spot. You could sit down, come on in, watch a couple of very short, unusual movies. It was pretty intriguing from the outside as well, with this intentionally designed hanging curtain that invites you to open it up and have a peek inside. Without any signage out front, you have no idea what's in there, so it's a bit of a surprise. This sort of rough outhouse movie tent is an expression of the theme of the Dutch pavilion, portraying a separate reality or a different kind of economy. The intention of the exhibit was to present a clear and optimistic statement about multiculturalism in the Netherlands today. At the same time, the Biennale itself is a place where topics such as nationality and culture come together, juxtaposing different notions of cultural diversity, politics, and art. Perhaps the most bizarre was the Spain Pavilion. The artist Santiago Sierra set up a cinder brick wall at the entrance, blocking anybody from going in. If you had a Spanish passport, you could go around the back, supposedly, to get in the back door, but that was blocked also. A statement about barriers and exclusion in our modern world. We have a series of 3 different movies about the Biennale over the various years of the last decade, so be sure to have a look at our YouTube channel for the other episodes in that sequence. The setting for the Biennale exhibit is called the Giardini, that's the gardens at the far eastern end of Venice. And as you can see, it's a beautiful park with benches, places to relax. Pause for a moment, catch your breath, and plan your next routing. Once again, walking back into the main pavilion or palazzo with its variety of exhibits, there was a whole bunch of different balls on display here, hanging or rolling around on the ground. It's just very abstract stuff and very playful, reminiscent of kicking balls around in the backyard or out at the beach. And with this, we are winding up our visit to the Biennale of 2003 in Venice. Be sure to look at our YouTube channel for many more movies about Venice itself and other glimpses into Biennales in 2005, 9, 11, and 2013.